Mustafa Kemal Atatürk is a pride of the Turkish nation and a hero, also known as the father of the Turks. He was a revolutionary, soldier, statesman, reformer, who helped in the establishment of the Republic of Turkey and became its first president since 1923 until his death in 1938. Kemalism, also known as Atatürkism or Six Arrows, is the founding ideology of the Republic of Turkey. Its core six arrows are republicanism, nationalism, populism, secularism, statism, and reformism. We will observe them one by one. Republicanism defines a type of constitutional republic in which representatives of the people are elected and must govern in accordance with existing constitutional law limiting governmental power over citizens. The Kemalist reforms represent a political revolution, a change from the multinational Ottoman Empire to the establishment of the nation-state of Turkey and the realization of the national identity of modern state. Kemalism recognizes a republican regime and believes that only that regime can best represent the wishes of the people. Nationalism. Kemalist nationalism originates from the social contract theories. Kemalist nationalism, after experiencing the Ottoman Empire's breakdown into pieces, defined the social contract as its highest ideal. The Kemalist revolution was also a nationalist revolution. Kemalist nationalism wasn't racist. It was meant to preserve the independence of the Republic of Turkey and also to help the Republic's political development. It was a nationalism which respected the right to independence of all other nations. It was a nationalism with a social content. It was not only anti-imperialist, but it was also against the rule of a dynasty or any particular social class over Turkish society. Kemalist nationalism believes in the principle that the Turkish state is an indivisible whole comprising its territory and people. Populism is defined as a social revolution aimed to transfer political power to citizenship. Kemalism moved the orientation of political power toward the best interest of the general public. The Kemalist revolution was also a social revolution in terms of its content and goals. This was a revolution led by an elite with an orientation toward the people in general. The Kemalist reforms brought about a revolutionary change in the status of women through the adoption of Western code of law in Turkey, in particular the Swiss civil code. Moreover, women received the right to vote in 1934. Atatürk stated on a number of occasions that the true rulers of Turkey were the peasants. This was actually a goal rather than a reality in Turkey. In fact, in the official explanation given to the principle of populism, it was stated that Kemalism was against class privileges and class distinctions, and it recognized no individual, no family, no class, and no organization as being above others. Kemalist ideology was in fact based on supreme value of Turkish citizenship. A sense of pride associated with the citizenship would give the needed psychological support to the people to make them work harder and to achieve a sense of unity and national identity. Secularism, as a principle of the separation of government institutions and people, mandated to represent the state from religious institutions and religious dignitaries. Kemalist secularism didn't merely mean separation of state and religion, but also the separation of religion from educational, cultural, and legal affairs. It meant independence of thought and independence of institutions from the dominance of religious thinking and religious institutions. The Kemalist revolution was also a secularist revolution. Many Kemalist reforms were meant to bring about secularism, and others were released because secularism had been achieved. The Kemalist principle of secularism didn't advocate theism. It wasn't an anti-God principle. It was a rationalist, anti-clerical secularism. The Kemalist principle of secularism wasn't against enlightened Islam, but against an Islam which was opposed to modernization. Statism. The principle of Kemalist statism is generally interpreted to mean that the state was to regulate the country's general economic activities, and the state was to engage in areas where private enterprise was not willing to do so, or where private enterprise had proven to be inadequate, or if national interest required it. Kemal Atatürk made clear in his statements and policies that Turkish complete modernization was very much dependent on economical and technological development. In the application of the principle of statism, however, the state emerged not only as a principal source of economic activity, but also as the owner of major industries of the country. Reformism as a principle which called for the country to replace the traditional institutions and concepts with modern institutions and concepts. This principle is one of the most important, which advocated the need for fundamental social change through revolution as a strategy to achieve the modern society. In the Kemalist sense, there is no possibility of return to the old systems because they were deemed backward. This principle means that the Turkey made reforms and that the country replaced traditional institutions with modern ones. It means that traditional concepts were eliminated and modern concepts were adopted. The principle of reformism went beyond the recognition of the reforms which were made. The Turkish state is a republic. The Republic of Turkey is a democratic, secular and social state, governed by the rule of law, bearing in mind the concept of public peace, national solidarity and justice, respecting human rights, loyal to the nationalism of Atatürk, and based on the fundamental tenets set forth in the preamble. Mustafa Atatürk reforms completely changed the political system of Turkey and freed it from pressure of Ottoman rule. He modernized the country's legal and educational systems and encouraged the adoption of westernized way of life, with citizens adopting European-style names. He abolished the Islamic justice system and adopted Swiss civil code. Moved the capital from Istanbul to Ankara, where it was less vulnerable to attack. He introduced the language known as Turkish by adopting the Latin alphabet and helped a whole country to learn it within 5 years. He made it law that the women could wear their own choice clothing, no more forced headscarves. Turkey is now the only predominantly Muslim country in the world with a democracy. 10th of November of every year is Mustafa Kemal Atatürk Day. Turkish schools are commemorating the greatest leader with a minute of silence. Mustafa Atatürk was a great leader, and people will never forget the things he done. I am from Kyrgyzstan, and the university I'm studying in is named by the name of Atatürk and called International Alatoo University, and I am proud to study there. Besides that, we have park called Atatürk. It placed in our capital as well as my university. Thank you very much for your time. With you was Zarina Abzalilova, and today we talked about Mustafa Kemal Atatürk and his contributions to humanity. Have a nice day. Bye.